All right, guys, so our final lesson of this unit. So we're back to our workplace skills. So this is on budgeting and record keeping, both which are really great skills to know in the workplace, especially if you have your own business. Okay, so communities depend on the jobs that ag provides. When a major industry is foundering, it impacts virtually every other business in the area. So if people aren't working, they cannot afford to support other businesses. Those in ag aren't responsible only for the health of plants and animals, but they affect communities and support them, provide labor, and depend on wages. So even though those working in ag may have chosen a business as their primary profession, people who run farms and other ag-related businesses need many skills of entrepreneurs. So let's talk about budgeting. For any business to survive, it's got to have a budget. It can't just go and spend without recognizing what it's spending or being accountable. So, budget's a plan for allocating resources, specifically money. For a business, it means figuring out how much money it's going to cost to run and how much to charge for goods and services, and trying to stay positive, trying to bring in money as a profit. So, you're going to have to keep track of expenses, equipment, employee wages, rent, mortgage, supplies, and more. So all expenses required to run the operation will be deducted from how much the business makes. So that means, like, if the farm makes $200,000, but it cost you $150,000 to operate, the owner of the farm, you're only making $50,000. You're not making that $200,000, right? So you're only getting 25% of the revenue. So a lot of people, they think that farmers are really rich because they see those big amounts. Like, they sold all their crop and they made $400,000 that year. Well, after diesel, after equipment cost, after labor, that farmer individually really only made about $50,000, which is, that's less than some, business people's jobs. So high income doesn't necessarily mean a lot of profit. So managing money well means not keeping track of spending, but having a plan and money set aside for when things don't go well. So having like a rainy day fund. Budgeting is about spending money wisely. If I invest in a piece of equipment, will save the business money in the long run. It's a good investment. Costs have to be returned to make it worth the price. So it's got to pan out, If I'm actually losing money on that piece of equipment, I probably need to get out and sell it. So it's acknowledging if you've done something bad, like you made a poor decision, reallocating and doing what's best for the company. So I'm going to go to record keeping. It's very necessary for business reasons to keep good records. Time, it needs to be tracked, especially when you're paying for labor. Time is money. It translates to that, especially hourly wages. So it makes more sense to have a hoof trimmer come out and take care of all livestock at the same time rather than booking several visits because different animals were on slightly different schedules. Things like that. Those are why you need to keep good records. You can save money here and there. It's going to add up. So keeping careful track of wages is important. Keeping track of employee tasks. Keeping record of workplace incidents and injuries for law purposes. Other farm activities to track include all processes and use of resources. So that could be like hours on a tractor. Tractors, they're not measured by miles. It's how many hours are run on them. Types of how much feed you fed, what you planted in the field each season. All these are good to keep track of because you can't rely on your memory. And you need to rely on your records so that you can move forward the next year. So some ways to use your record. So when regulators are checking on food safety, you can use your records for that. When you want to apply for a bank loan, they're going to ask to see your financial records. Managing productivity, you can figure out, you can go back and see how to improve your business. Taxes, budgeting, managing cash flow, you're going to need all of your finances there. Tracking progress to minimize loss and maximize income. So record keeping comes in handy all over the farm. But to make full use of that data that you're keeping, you're going to have skills to analyze it and know how to move forward. Through record keeping may not be the best part or most favorite part of an ag career. It's really necessary to do so. So then you have your knowledge check. And that's going to conclude this unit. You still have an activity to do. And I believe critical thinking questions. And then you'll have your quiz. But the main thing is that how technology is just so advanced, and even in the agriculture world, and how we're using it every day to help our food handling practices and our agriculture